we are honored that you would join us for my top 10 Star Wars vehicles. One of the many things that makes the Star Wars universe a pretty wizard place are the myriad of star cruisers, fighters, and other conveyances that populate our galaxy far, far away. And while I have a lot of fond memories of pod racing as a youngling, unfortunately there isn't room on this list for everything. So if your favorite vehicle doesn't make the cut, don't get your space undies in a bunch about it. Leave a comment below instead and let me know what your favorites are. Now, quite fittingly at number 10 is the X-Wing. Based on the Z-95 Headhunter, an ARC-170 starfighter from the Clone Wars, the X-Wing was originally designed for the Empire by Vors Vohorian, who became part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor, defecting with prototype fighters hidden on Frisia, along with the entire engineering team. This nifty little craft was the fighter of choice for the Rebel Alliance, as General Riken said. The Incom T-65 X-Wing is the fighter that killed the Death Star. An almost perfect balance of speed, maneuverability, and defensive shielding make it the fighter of choice for Rogue Squadron. Interestingly, the X-Wing's controls were nearly identical to the T-16 Skyhopper, an airspeeder produced by Incom Corporation, meaning any bush pilot, say a young moisture farmer for instance, could easily adapt and pilot an X-Wing. And if you've ever wondered what S-foils are, let Papa Vader lay it on the line for ya. S-foil stands for strike foil, as the wings separate during battle to increase the spread of its KX-9 laser cannons. The craft is also equipped with dual MG7 proton torpedo launchers and a Class 1 GBK 858 hyperdrive. And at just 149,999 credits, if you're looking for an inexpensive starfighter, X marks the spot. Number 9. The TIE Fighter. Yes sir, nothing better than strapping yourself into one of these babies and turning some rebel pilots into orange goo. Manufactured by Sign-Off Fleet Systems, the Twin Ion Engine, or TIE Fighter, is only one of many vessels in the TIE line, including TIE Bombers, TIE Interceptors, and the TIE Advanced X-1, which I personally designed. Sporting twin PS4 ion engines, an NS6 Navcom navigation system, and powerful dual LS1 laser cannons, the TIE Fighter is the standard in precision military engineering. Flying in at number 8 is the Slave 1, a modified prototype Fire Spray 31 class patrol attack craft, stolen from the Uvu 4 prison asteroid by the infamous bounty hunter Jango Fett, before it was passed on from father to son. Sporting a bountiful array of weapons, including twin rotating blaster cannons, concussion missile launchers, proton torpedo tubes, and seismic charges, the Slave 1 is as lethal and efficient as its owners. Featuring a Class 1 hyperdrive, a tractor beam projector, and a cargo capacity of over 40 metric tons, it is the perfect vehicle for any simple man trying to make his way in the universe. Never tell the captain of my next pick the odds, as we move along to lucky number 7, the Millennium Falcon. This heavily modified YT-1300 Corellian freighter may look like a piece of junk, but she's the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy, making the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs due to the advanced Rubicon navicomputer, which allows Captain Soul to chart the fastest route to his destination along his current trajectory. She'll make 0.5 past light speed. She may not look like much, but she's got it where it counts, kid. Equipped with an ISOSEM SSP-05 hyperdrive, illegal military-grade CEC-AG-2G quad laser cannons, and sensor-proof smuggling compartments, when things get dicey, it's the perfect vehicle for a scruffy-looking nerf herder. Sneaking in at number 6 is the Sith Infiltrator. an experimental armed star courier manufactured by Republic Sinar Systems before they were nationalized by the Galactic Empire. And while Lord Maul and I have our differences, I gotta give it to the tattooed misery. When it comes to Sweet Rise, he doesn't take any half measures. Armed to the teeth, Maul's ship the Scimitar has 6 laser cannons, a proton torpedo launcher, a mine layer, 3 Dark 1 Dark Eye probe droids, and his totally wizard Sith speeder, the Blood Thing. Now before we go any further, I would like to take a moment to thank everyone who has donated to our PayPal. You are not only helping to keep Vader Reviews alive, your support is making our fan film, Fallen Jedi, possible. We begin filming in October. If you'd like to be part of what we're doing here, please consider donating today. A link to our PayPal is in the description of this video. Back to my list. Now when it comes to wizard capital ships, my number 5 choice quite literally destroys the competition. Like a giant pizza slice of death, Star Destroyers are symbols of Imperial supremacy. After the fall of the corrupt Republic, the outdated Venator and Victory-class Star Destroyers utilized during the Clone Wars were taken out of service in favor of the much larger, more impressive Imperial-class Star Destroyers, which became the backbone of the Imperial Navy. Carrying a complement of 9,700 stormtroopers, a full wing of 72 TIE fighters, bombers, and boarding craft, ion cannons, turbo lasers, and 8 giant turrets. One of these massive 16,000-meter-long war machines can subjugate an entire rebellious world. And yet, as impressive as they are dwarfed by my personal Executor-class Star Dreadnought, the largest Star Destroyer ever constructed by the Galactic Empire. And I gotta say, if the opening shot of Episode 4 with the Star Destroyer flying overhead doesn't get you excited, you're either dead or you're a Star Trek fan. Speeding right along, swooping in at number 4 is the Speeder Bike. Let's face it, it's a flying space motorcycle. What's not to like? Manufactured by Aerotech Repulsor Company, the 74Z Speeder Bike has been in service since the Clone Wars, equipped with an AZ-20 blaster cannon and an advanced terrain sensor which connects to a tactical heads-up display so scout troopers can see what's ahead of them. This speedy space hog makes my list because it reminds me of the good old days when I was pod racing as a kid. At number 3, we have the All-Terrain Armored Transport, or AT-AT for short. At just over 20 meters tall, these towering mechanical beasts serve not only as transportation for up to 40 snowtroopers. With its heavy armor plating, dual heavy laser cannons, and twin light blasters, the AT-AT is also a mobile heavy weapons platform, carrying a complement of speeder bikes, DLT-20A, and E-11 blaster rifles, and LX-4 proton mines. The sight of these monstrous war machines is often enough to break the spirit of the enemy, and quite literally crush the rebellion underfoot. Number 2 is an older ship, but it checks out. The Lambda-class T-4A Shuttle. If you're starting to see a pattern here, that most of my favorite ships are of the Imperial variety. What can I say? Sinar Fleet System does excellent work. The sleek design of this ship, with its angled wings and dorsal fin, always reminded me of a shark gliding through an ocean of stars. And it only helps that nearly every time you saw the ship in Return of the Jedi, it heralded the arrival of myself or the Emperor. Equipped with a hyperdrive, deflector shields, and an array of wing-mounted laser cannons, and the capacity to transport a complement of 20 stormtroopers, the Lambda-class Shuttle will always be one of my personal favorite Star Wars vehicles of all time. And finally, number 1. My absolute favorite Star Wars vehicle, the All-Terrain Scout Transport, or AT-ST for short. I don't care what anybody says, this thing is totally wizard. I mean, it looks like a robotic T-Rex with lasers where those tiny little arms would be. Anything that mixes giant robots of death with dinosaurs. Come on, what more could you ask? With a maximum speed of 90 kilometers per hour, twin MS-4 blaster cannons capable of firing at a range of 2 kilometers, the AT-ST is the perfect machine for going on a bear hunt on the sanctuary moon of Endor. Although, as wizard as it is, the clever little fuzzballs learned to utilize the traps they set for the giant Gorax against the AT-ST, proving that even the smallest person can change the course of the future. Anyway, that's my top 10 list of Star Wars vehicles. Comment below and let me know what your favorites are. Thank you again to all of my heroes of the Empire who support the channel on PayPal, and thank you to all my faithful soldiers of the Empire who share these videos. Together, we will rule the internet. This has been Vader Reviews, and always remember, you don't know the power of the dark side.